Welcome to Waiving Not Drowning. In this episode, Jane and I put our brand new ePropulsion through its paces in the Fishbourne Channel, an area of outstanding natural beauty on the south coast of England. And as we enjoy the peace and quiet of going electric, we catch the unmistakable sound of a Merlin engine overhead. Turns out going electric isn't just good for the planet, it's great for spotting Spitfires too. I recently bought an ePropulsion Spirit One Plus electric outboard and wanted to test how long the battery would last in the wild. Our plan was to launch at Dell Quay and travel down the Fishbourne Channel, past Chichester Marina, onto Itchenor, then make our way back to Dell Quay. With my dividers set at half a nautical mile, the distance to Itchenor and back from Dell Quay was about 5 nautical miles if I factored in weaving in and out of moored boats and a bit of traffic. We arrived at Dell Quay with the tide still coming in, which gave me time to unload the boat and trolley from the trailer and get everything set up before the water reached a suitable depth for launching. Meanwhile, Jane worked on her tan. Shortly after we set off from Dell Quay, a Spitfire roared overhead. These iconic aircraft are a regular feature of the skies above Chichester Harbour. With the battery fully charged, the ePropulsion runtime display shows 9 hours and 59 minutes. We'd been out on the water travelling at a couple of knots against an incoming tide for about 45 minutes. For most of that time, we'd been following in the wake of a Shrimper 19 as it beat its way towards Chichester Marina. Despite motoring against the tide, the ePropulsion runtime display reckoned we still had 9 hours 59 minutes of charge left if we continued at the same speed. I wasn't convinced that I understood the runtime display correctly. We surely couldn't have 10 hours remaining. Range anxiety kicked in, so I turned the boat around and headed back to Dell Quay. Better to continue the performance tests close to the sailing club in case we had to use the sail or oars to get back to the club pontoon. If you're wondering why my outboard engine bracket looks so weird, watch my previous video. It's a prototype I made that does not need to be screwed into the transom. The setup lets me easily switch between using the rudder and the outboard. I'll make a more attractive version at some point. Near the sailing club, I ran the motor faster. With the throttle increased, the runtime display updated, showing we had 6 hours of charge remaining if we continued at the faster speed. When I slowed down, the display went back to 9 hours 59 minutes. We pottered about in front of Dell Quay Sailing Club for a bit, and after motoring for a total of about an hour and a half at varying speeds, the runtime display said we had 9 hours and 30 minutes of charge left. I thought this couldn't possibly be correct, so decided to call it a day and contact ePropulsion support to get their thoughts on our experience. After contacting the ePropulsion support team, we went back to Dell Quay armed with a bit more knowledge and confidence that we knew how the battery runtime display worked. The maximum runtime displayed at full charge is 9 hours and 59 minutes. The display is limited to 3 digits. So even though you might be running quite slowly and have say 12, 15 or 17 hours of charge remaining, the display will continue to show 9 hours and 59 minutes until you have drawn enough power that you have less than 9 hours and 59 minutes of charge remaining. Only then will the dynamic display show a reduction in runtime. On day 2, we decided to leave the mast and sail at home, determined to give the ePropulsion a longer run and better understand its performance. The ePropulsion website says that on one charge you can expect to go a distance of 22 miles at a speed of 4.5 miles per hour. This is based on a scenario in which one person motors on calm lake water in a 12-foot aluminium boat. So we've been motoring for about an hour and a bit. We have passed Chichester Marina. We started off at Dell Quay. We're coming up to Itchenor now. We've still got 9 hours, 34 minutes left at this speed. I have put the power down a fair bit now and then to get out of people's way. So this thing just looks like it's going to keep going and going. We zigzagged quite a lot on our journey, taking detours to get a closer look at houses and boats. So we've made it to Itchenor and we are just pottering about amongst all the more boats. Some lovely, lovely boats. This thing says it's got 9 hours left, which is crazy. We are having a bloody fantastic day. At Itchenor, we turned the boat around and headed back to Dell Quay, running against the outgoing tide with a bit more throttle. In total, we motored for about 2.5 hours, mostly at a couple of knots against the tide. We increased our speed up to about 4 knots for short periods. When we got back to Dell Quay, we had about 6.5 hours of charge remaining if we continued at a couple of knots. I am genuinely blown away by the ePropulsion. It's easy to use, almost silent, and has impressive runtime performance. I couldn't be happier with our decision to buy it. We finished the day with beer and a slice of cake.